Welcome back, everyone, to the VC Poker Cup, where the writing is on the wall quite literally for some of our semi-finalists. Let's see who's next to go as we rejoin the action.
John's chip lead, 28,500.
Big blind, please.
3,000 for the big blind. John folding, Ben folding. Now Lee Nelson.
There it is.
He likes the ace, but Rolf will like his hand as well.
Lee, a very, very solid player. He's not going to like what happens once he makes this raise, but if he's re-raised, he's the sort of player who can get away.
9,000.
Not sure how many chips Rolf has got. Yeah, quite a few.
Rolf on the big blind. It's going to cost him 6,000 to have a look.
Re-raise.
And he's re-raising.
Raise to 19,000.
And that's more than a third of his stack.
Call.
But he's priced Lee into the pot.
Thank you.
It's quite a clever raise by Rolf, and Lee's getting himself into a position where he might have to pay. Oh!
And they both hit 2 pairs.
Well,
Check.
that's that. Rolf is going to get a double up, no question.
Check.
They're both trapping. Now there'll be a little bit of action. This really is a cold deck. There's no way that all the money isn't going in here. Rolf doesn't need to put this performance on. He could save his time.
Raise all in. Call.
So Rolf goes all in.
You got an ace?
Lee is going to be very upset in a moment with what he sees.
Yep.
Thinks he's sitting pretty with his 2 pairs, aces and 3s.
Only a 3 for Lee now, otherwise Rolf is going to double up and he'll be on over 100,000 chips.
Rolf is the team player. His hand is ace check. What is ace check? 3-9. He got 2 pairs, aces and checks. Lee's hand is ace 3. He also got 2 pairs, ace and 3s. Rolf is in front. Let's see the river card. And last
No 3 on the river. And so Lee Nelson, big loss on that hand as Rolf Inge van Wyk doubles up.
And Lee Nelson will be regretting calling that re-raise before the flop.
600.
Let's turn our attentions back to table 2. Tony Bloom's lead even more substantial, nearly 100,000 now.
And dramatic to think how different it would be if Thomas had called with those queens, and I think he's still kicking himself.
It looks as though the red mist had descended on Thomas Gunderson at one stage. He could find himself in a betting heat against Tony Bloom again here.
And Tony Bloom with the cards, what a dangerous combination. And Thomas, if he decides to make the stand against Tony now, having put those queens down, will be getting it wrong once again.
Don't write Kevin off out of this hand either.
Thomas gave away by that big noise that he made and the look on his face that he's got a difficult decision. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve, and that's what he's up against. Thomas doesn't like to take Tony on, and that's a very good pass. But Kevin, with his 10s, we're taking a very, very different view, and he's got a very different demeanour too.
Cool. Kevin's going to call it. Have a little look with his pair of 10s. See what the flop brings.
Interestingly, Thomas might have given away that he passed an ace by the way he reacted to that bet. And that's a great flop for Kevin.
Check.
Check.
If he checks it and Tony bets, Kevin, I expect, would come over the top here.
That's exactly what's going to happen with Kevin's check. Tony has bet. And now, what's Kevin going to do with his 2 pairs?
It's announced all in. Well, Tony did what he had to do. It looked like a good flop for Tony, but Kevin knew it was a good flop for him. And now that Tony's sitting back, Kevin's short.
46,900.
Substantial re-raise. Kevin has played it like a pair, and I think that Tony, especially when Thomas has almost given away that he passed an ace, I think Tony has to throw this away after a little bit of a relaxing sit back in his chair.
How about kings or something? That's...
He's right, you are too good.
Good hand for Kevin, but after what went before, I can guarantee that he won't be showing Tony exactly what he did have. Number 3 go through. Lee with a lot of work to do. Hard to say which of the other 4 might be eliminated with him, unless Lee Nelson can have an upturn in fortunes.
She's been to audio and she said the Rupert's the nicest one out of all of them.
We talk about 4 mile long, please. 4 mile long. Call.
She said it's not as nice.
Check.
Lee with a call.
That's the problem. They've all gone independent. That's why they're not as clean anymore.
John opting to take a flop with his 5s. Now, did anybody have a king? Yes, Rolf did. Very nice.
It's a full house.
Check.
Yes, indeed.
5,000.
It looks like a good flop for John, because if nobody's got a king, his 5s are good. But now he knows it's not as good as he thought. Of course, if Rolf just had a 4, John's 5s would still be in front. How's Rolf going to get any more money out of John here?
$10,000.
He can try making a very small bet. John's thinking, well, if he's got ace-4, he might play it like this.
Call.
Final round of betting for Rolf to try and extort some more from John Kabash.
If he makes the bet small enough, he just might, but he's...
20,000.
Now, ace-4 probably wouldn't bet again. There was no draw on the board, but yeah, John's figured it out. Don't show him, mate.
You like the flop?